Hello, and welcome to this 8th episode of the Collab Cast, coming to you from our studios in Clearwater, Florida. I'm Executive Director Christina Baker. We are running unscripted, unedited with the co-founders of the Collab today.
Woo woo.
What up?
So we have
T Hall,
And
Tyler
Nate.
Hall, Nate.
Nate Bardak coming in strong.
Yeah, so I'm the creative director of the Collab Studios here in Clearwater. Love what I do. It's the best thing on earth with the best people on earth.
Amen. Nader?
I'm Nate, the sound engineer over here, and I could say this is not a job. It's definitely something I look forward to doing every day. So these people are fun to work with, and we get a lot done. That's all I can say.
We do. So we thought we would do this podcast together with the three of us to give our audience a little background of how we got started. And like I said, this is unscripted. We really haven't talked a whole lot, the three of us, about our beginning, and it just kind of, stars aligned kind of thing. I'm going to start, I think, with my viewpoint, if that's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we'll squeeze hands and go around the room or something.
Sounds good.
So I was full-time working for Big Blue Dive Lights, the job that I love, for the last 8 years. And alongside of that, doing some drumming with Aaron Boone and Todd Hughes, a.k.a. Rhythm and Boone, and we had been gigging about once a month for the last few years. Aaron and Todd played more than I did, but I joined the band roughly once a month. And for the last couple years, I just didn't feel a passion for it, and I was looking to get into something else, but I wasn't quite sure what that was. And COVID hit, and as many of you and almost everybody, I think, fell into this slump of what's happening, what do we do? I've lost my, passion, mojo, whatever, because everything was just at such an uncertain point. And I think we were all just, wondering what was coming next. And there was really not a whole lot of ways you could prepare, and what's the world going to look like next, and how am I going to fit, and is my business going to survive, or are we going to have jobs, and all of those things that I'm sure, has run through a lot of people's minds over the last years. So as things got somewhat back to normal, that's when our business picked up enough to where we were looking to hire some employees, and that's where Tyler came in to Big Blue. And he brought for me, renewed sense of drive. There's this young guy, driven, hungry, with fresh ideas, and it really inspired me again to focus my attention, focus my attention. I mean, I was just kind of floundering, and we were just getting by. And so, he really brought that energy and drive and made me realize, yeah, this is a really cool thing and an exciting business. So with that excitement on the business side, it really ignited my creativity side again. And so I was then open to what's my next chapter with music. I knew that I really didn't want to gig out anymore, and I had let the band know, I'm retiring, I'm really not feeling it, and they were gracious and understanding, but I wasn't sure, where am I going to go next? What am I going to do? I had always thought about a studio in the back of my mind, and I thought, in a framework of helping others and using my gifts and my knowledge and just the things that I learned throughout my career in music on the business side and the creative side, and how can I help younger musicians come up. Um, and that's, I really didn't give it a whole lot of thought. And so as business with Big Blue kept growing, we again needed somebody else. So Tyler suggested his buddy Nate. Hey, my buddy's looking for something part-time. I'm like, great, bring him in. Let's interview him. So we did, and he was a good fit. And so enter Nate Bardak into our little Big Blue Dive Lights business world.
What up?
Family.
Family, yeah, exactly.
Right.
True. So Nate started for a few weeks and was learning the ropes here at Big Blue. And Tyler had mentioned, oh yeah, Nate does studios or builds studios, and I was like, come again? And I didn't give it too much thought, and because here's this young kid, what the hell does he know? Like, meh. So, so then I think Nate, you're gonna have to help me out on this because my memory is super foggy. But I think you approached me and were like, "Hey, let's talk about this."
I had heard. Well, yeah, Tyler had mentioned that like the drumming thing was your thing. That's something you were passionate about, and I was super interested in just knowing what you knew or learning what you've learned. And I mean, as far as Tyler knows, we've been pretty much dedicated to finding out like the bottom line about things for years. So music was my thing as far as that goes. So once I heard you were into it, I was like, how into it are you? So I'm glad that you had that mindset as far as being super serious about it, because it's not every day you find somebody that wants to do something with music once they have that love for it. So, I mean, the studio thing was just a cool idea that I've had for 10 plus years, and you said, let's do it. So that's pretty much how it went.
And then the work started immediately.
Well, we approached Tim, our boss and the owner of Big Blue Dive Lights, and we had this little workshop in the back that really was more a storage room here in our office, and I kind of casually pitched the idea to him, and he was like, absolutely, go for it. So boom, we we went into immediate action.
Oh yeah, overnight we had our studio. No, definitely not overnight, but
I would say, but it was pretty fast, maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah,
and
I would say 3 weeks. We were, got everything in, got all of our furniture moved in. First things we had to do was really clean everything and, make it a studio, soundproof, and just make it really solid.
We thought about it too, pretty pre-constructively. I mean, we knew we're just building a studio, but we really wanted to cater to certain aspects of it, because you can go blow a bunch of money on a studio and it's not going to be what you want at the end of the day. So I think that was cool that we figured out what we wanted and we're happy with what we built, because I mean, that's an important part, to want to bring people here, be proud of it, show off what we know, and not just say it's a room that we just threw down some money for.
Right.
It's actually something we care about and have a passion for. So I feel like it'll follow, years of care and people appreciating that as well.
Yeah, and the first, we're just so new into this, but we've had just a tremendous response from the people that walk in. They're like, whoa, I wasn't expecting this, and it looks great, and it sounds amazing, and, so our little starting point here is, I think, we're very proud of it.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Not just the sound, but the feel and the vibe of the room and the lighting and the curtains and the rugs and all of that works together to, make musicians feel that relaxed so that their creativity can pour through and not have an uptight vibe going through here. And I think the way that we greet people when they come in, and that kindness and chill, and I just really am proud of all of, both of you guys and just the way that we've kind of come together on that. And it's been really unspoken. I mean,
Yeah.
we haven't talked about that.
Yeah.
And I think that's just, I'm really proud of that. I'm happy to have anybody walk in here. I don't care who they are. I have full confidence that every person that walks in here is going to be treated with respect and be, you guys are going to do the best of the best that you can, bringing your abilities to the table. Speaking of that, let's give a little history, Nate, if you will, of your background coming up to this point.
Just real quick, going back to what you just said about having people be comfortable in here, I can say that relates to my full ability to build stuff like this pretty much growing up. I had two extremely supportive parents that are still supported to this day. Love you, Mom and Dad. They took the heat, basically, or sound particularly, all throughout the night, letting me do my thing and basically learn. So that's I was a kid that was real eager to learn what he wanted to learn and nothing else. So I would find something I was interested in and then just go really hard in that. So studios or music or basically the understanding of sound was something I got as a young kid and felt like I was no one could take that from me. So when I'm hearing something, that's my opinion, that's my personal feeling on it, and I felt prideful of having just that feeling. So I started putting speakers in different places and recording things and learning how to play tunes on the piano that I liked, or just listening to radio stuff and trying to edit it and just pretty much experimenting. So 10 years go by, I've probably manufactured 2 or 3 or 4 different control rooms, as they would call them. It wouldn't be considered a full studio at that point, but when I've pretty much linked up with Christina and Tyler after so many years, I had all this knowledge of what it takes to get good sound, and you don't need that much. You basically need experience and the right tools and know how to use them. So, like I said, I was doing this for 10 plus years, and then the opportunity struck to where it could be almost a calculated thing rather than just throwing it in your parents' room or just your home studio and making it work. So we thought about it pretty deeply and thought about what we could use, equipment wise. And I think everybody that's come in here has been more than sufficient with
Wowed.
what they want or what they need or what we can give them, and wowed. So that's also a big plus for us, because it's not just stuff that we're saying we can do. It's stuff that
We're doing
other
it.
people are doing,
That's
and
right.
we're doing it just as well, and we're confident in saying that. So that's
Yeah.
that's pretty much where I've wanted to be as far as excuse me, a career or something that I can go and do and know I'm good at it. And we get compliments on being good, so I can say that's all I can ask for
So
as far as the collab goes.
Why do you think it took you 10 years or 12 years to get to the point where you were ready to, I'm ready to do this as this is my jam. This is my thing.
As an engineer, or a said engineer, I could honestly admit that I don't think you're ever at a point where you feel like you're good enough in this sort of endless world of sound. But I knew once I could help other people's music become its full potential, that's where I knew it was an important role rather than something that I could just do. It's something I should do. Is I could hear sound in a different way and enhance it to the point where it's better. And that's my job as an engineer. It's not to change the music, it's just to make it present itself in the proper way. So,
Right.
I mean, I was making lots of music for years. Tyler was the first person to show me Ableton. He brought me to
Hey,
good old Joe. Shout out Joe.
that's called a creative director.
He
right?
basically he knew my little mind would see something like that and say, all right, that's freaking interesting. I want to do that. And
I
he
did
did the
not
same
know
thing.
that, though.
I mean,
There's no way. How would I know that
You-
you'd spend the next 10
So
years
how did that? Yeah, how did
doing
that all? How did that all go
you want to tell
down?
that story? That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
So, we had a friend in high school. Me and Nate met a long time ago. I'd say I was a sophomore at Palm Harbor. And, we used to ride BMX bikes. That was our jam. I used to see him
Good
on his
old
BMX
BMX,
bike, and I
man.
was like, yo, do it 180. And he was like, nah, you do one. I was like, all right. So we ended up just riding bikes and hanging out a lot. I wouldn't say we were like the closest, best buddies, but we were definitely,
We lived 2 streets over, which was convenient.
we were close enough to share ideas and spend a lot of time hanging out. So So me and Nate, just we loved music together. We would always be jamming out with car speakers. And I introduced Nate to one of my other friends that I met in high school, and he was a music producer. He started when he was like 16, and we all used to just go over to his house and we'd just crank for hours, crank music, and I'd always get the vibe of I want to create stuff like repetitively. So
Were you painting? You were painting then?
Nope.
No,
I
not
had
painting.
not
You were
started-
just okay.
nope, I hadn't started painting yet.
He was doodle master, though.
Yeah, I mean, since a kid, doodling everywhere on everything. So yeah, I've always been that creative mindset. So yeah, when I got introduced to Ableton, I really wanted to share it with everyone. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing in the world. I loved it. I never really spent a ton of time doing it, but it just was another creative outlet for me to just like let go and be free, like no worries at all.
So for those that don't know what Ableton is, can
Yeah.
you both kind of give us a good description? Pretend like there's no musicians in the room and you gotta describe it.
So I'll start off just a little bit. Ableton is basically a music production software. So what that means is you can input any sort of instrument into this software, external instrument or internal instruments, and you can play or write music the same way that you would with an external instrument, but all digitally on a computer screen. Nate probably has a way better in-depth engineered answer than me.
That was very clean as far as Google would
Google
describe
in
it.
my mind right now.
No, that's perfect. It is so intricate that it's kind of hard to explain, but you said it correctly. It's just a digital worksheet, basically, similar to Microsoft Word, Paint, anything like that. Just very intricate. So you have pretty much every option as far as taking an instrument, whether it's live or digital, and just recording the pattern that you'd like. So you can put drums on it, make your own pattern. You could put a guitar on it, make your own pattern. There's endless possibilities, but the depth of Ableton goes into the processings and the audio effects and the basic concepts that you can get out of this program as far as creating a cinematic idea or taking something that's flat recorded and putting reverbs onto it to appear to be through a hallway or something that otherwise you would not be able to recreate
We're getting
in person.
deep.
Yeah.
Deep.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
if you can think it, we can do it on Ableton. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I look at
like
that.
whatever sound you want
I-
to do, you can
mean-
make an elephant sound like a
Yeah.
lemon drop. Like
Or a dolphin.
Yeah.
We recently used a couple beer can cracks, let's say,
Yeah.
to create some percussion. And if we didn't tell you that, you probably wouldn't know it. But as
To
far
be
as getting
released
creative,
soon.
we also drank them. But
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
part of the process. I mean, yeah, there's a cool creative sense to Ableton because there really is no limitation. That's why I like it. I've never had a experience on Ableton or heard other people saying I couldn't get this noise out of it. So that's the
And then the
That's why it's
newest,
worth it.
yeah, it literally can do anything. I mean, it's the sky is the literal limit, and not even that.
I kind of think it's like a toolbox, basically. So, instruments are all tools, but there's also all of these effects that are also tools, and there's plugins that are tools. I mean, just
And they
think
create
of,
stuff all the time too. It's endless. You
Yeah.
know, you'll have a million combinations until they don't have combinations anymore. So
So, I mean,
Be
I'm
here a
gonna
while.
I'm gonna dumb it way down, but think of it as like just an eternity of camera filters for sound. Just an infinite amount of changes that you can make to the sounds, and it's just mind blowing to look at. I think the newest toy in our little tool belt is a record player that can be downloaded into Ableton, so you can take little snippets and samples. I mean, last night these jokers had on belly dancing music, and they're like, "Ah, it's the best thing we've ever heard."
and then she came in the morning and we had a full song recorded.
Bollywood beats, bring your records to us.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. The concepts that people haven't thought of or that don't really think about a lot, like having a vinyl just sitting at your house, dusty record. I think it's cool that we can apply the equipment that they have nowadays to make something completely new out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people would turn over in their graves right now if we told them we were sampling vinyl of what they recorded out in Jamaica, and
Right.
That is insane.
then putting some crazy plugins on it and making it sound
There's a lot of
Like
music
Coachella.
on the internet, but there's a lot of music on vinyls that's never been heard by anybody. So the way that we get to use that and just have fun. This is what we love to do. So it's like a whole new world for us to throw a new vinyl on and just let it record, take little samples out of it.
So I would encourage our audience to, the next time you're listening to music, really listen to the sounds that are plugged in. I've started doing this since we've started the studio, and I've learned about Ableton, and it's really crazy. Like, just going back to the belly dancing record for a minute. I mean,
Yeah.
there's all kinds of sounds in there that you could just pluck out, a little tambourine or a little sitar or whatever they're using in there, and a little 3-second, 5-second clip, whatever it is. You can, morph that clip and slow it down, speed it up, whatever it is, and install that into a song with live drums, live guitar, live vocals, live, bass guitar, all of those elements, and adding in together. But I really strongly encourage you guys, really listen. Don't just, oh yeah, that's a catchy riff or whatever. What is going on in that song? What are you hearing? Listen to, I guarantee you it will blow your mind when you really start trying to dissect that song into pieces of sounds.
That was a term I was going to use, track dissection.
Yeah.
That's something I have found is amazing and disabling at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
for
have
sure.
gotten so deep into listening to parts of music that I have sometimes lost actually listening to music,
Yeah.
which is crazy because I'm sitting there going, this is a good song, but that damn snare.
Right.
And I'm like, holy crap, just like listen to the song, man. But
Yeah.
that's a cool thing when you start thinking about music because it's like art. I've always thought about, like we were explaining Ableton earlier, I think about it as painting
Absolutely.
music on a, that's the way you get to paint because you get to combine so many colors and blend stuff. But like you said, when you dissect a song, you have to kind of know what it looks like.
Right.
So seeing Ableton shows you that track list where everything is individualized, and then you can see what's on individual noises. So like if someone's recording a drum and a guitar and a vocal at a recording studio, they have different effects over each one of those.
Sure.
Yep.
But when you think about it, it's a whole bunch more than just individual things. It's a whole mix and a master and a blend, and it's hard to wrap your mind around it without seeing it.
So I'm glad you brought up mixing and mastering, because that's another little point of education that I would like to talk about. So you get through a song, you put all the bits and pieces together, you really like it, all the levels sound good, you've got the right filters on, the producer's happy, the artist is happy, then it moves into mixing and mastering mode. What does that look like?
As far as the tracking process goes from ground up, you have to figure out what instruments you want. You layer those together in whatever pattern or sequence you like, and then you have to tweak everything to make them all fit. So what you're doing while mixing mastering is raising levels up to a certain point. There's a 0 decibel level that you're trying to get to. Every mixing mastering engineer is trying to get a certain volume. They've been calling it the loudness wars for years. So anybody who brings you music, you have to basically fight against them or what they've done to the song to equal everything and level everything. So if their starting point wasn't as good or it wasn't proper, then you have to go in and tweak everything else to fit that
Gotcha.
frequency.
Okay.
So a mixing mastering engineer is hoping that the person who gives them their files or stems has somewhat of a knowledge of base, starting points for frequencies and blah, blah, blah.
And stem is?
Stem is the individual instrument or track that somebody would send to you. So let's say you make a whole song, there's 10 tracks in that song. Those 10 tracks would be 1, 2, 3 guitar, 4, 5, 6 vocals, 7, 8, 9 percussion, and so on and so forth. Then you have your drums and blah, blah, blah. But they're all individualized when you're making music. And when it gets mixed together, that's the term mix, you have to squash all of those individual instruments into one file. So that's where it gets difficult within picking the numbers on each individual file and making sure that they're not going to collide and it'll sound good in your car and your phone and your laptop because everything has a reference and you have to basically see what it's going to be on everything else. So the mixing mastering process is almost the understanding for what the song needs to sound like.
Okay.
Because every song starts in a different spot. There's, excuse me, there's big bass, small bass. You have to basically judge on where the song is going to be the loudest and the most powerful, and then tweak everything from there.
And that
So-
is the sole discretion of the producer?
Yes, and there's quite a few people nowadays, I would say more so than back in the day, that are trying to get a distorted noise out of the mixing mastering engineer. I mean, you can bring a product to somebody, record it off your iPhone, and it could be what the kids want to hear nowadays, or whatever your producer is trying to go for.
So, in other words, that scratchy vinyl sound, for instance. Oh, this is what I want to hear.
Yeah.
So you can apply a filter to give it that vinyl-y sound.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Just recently, I've experienced the crispness of an actual vinyl compared to something called a plugin, which is basically a pop-up window on your computer that you can pay for, and it will duplicate or show you, or basically create the effect of a vinyl rather than physically recording it. So it's all up to the listener or the producer's mindset as far as that goes, because
Okay.
Ableton really can do a lot. So
In that process of mixing and mastering, do you as the producer bring in the artist? I mean, I know I said it's at your sole discretion, but like I can imagine if I was the artist and the producer came back with my mixed and mastered thing and it was so bass heavy and that's not what I had envisioned, then what happens at that point?
I feel like it's important to have all sections of the party there
Okay.
when the mixing mastering process is going on, or at least the concept needs to be relayed first off, because as far as projects go, you kind of want to know where that dude's mind is before you even
Right.
start, because that will make the whole rest of the deal so much easier. It's like saying, I want to build a house, and then the dude tells you 8 months later, oh, I wanted a pool, but we didn't figure that beforehand,
Right.
I was like, I can put a pool in your backyard, but I'm going to have to go through your house with a backhoe. So
Right.
you should have told me that before.
Gotcha. Okay. Good.
stuff
Good
like that.
analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good analogy.
And in music, it sucks because you have to really kind of dig into somebody's mind. It's almost like
Yeah.
an architect. A great friend of mine recently told me that He's like, you are a sound engineer, but you're more of an architect because you have to put yourself in that other person's shoes when you're designing something, whether it be audio or a house. You have to think of, like, if I'm this guy in this kitchen, what am I going to grab most often? What drawer am I going to look for? And I try to apply that to music as well, because that's someone's mind creating that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's an idea or image.
So let's talk about our goals for the studio.
All right, let's do it.
Go, Tyler.
All right.
You're
Goal
up.
number 1. Well, we really haven't talked about too many goals, I would say, but I would say our biggest one is to have a bigger studio one day,
Boom. Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're out of the concept phase now, and now we are in the startup phase, still in the startup phase,
Yeah,
I would say.
for sure.
So we're, making our way towards building a bigger studio. Another big goal that we just kind of talked about and kind of launched is our sponsorship program. So, at the CoLab, we want to sponsor young aspiring artists, or really any aspiring artists who have never been in a studio and they love to play music. They might be live performers who've just never had a chance to record in a studio. So we want to link donors with these artists so that they can have their own studio time and get, products out of it, like songs or anything. So
Yeah, and we can help with distribution
Yep.
and marketing and all of that.
And confidence.
Yeah,
Yeah, confidence.
absolutely.
I've
we
needed
want
that
them to be
help for
proud
sure.
of, we want them to be absolutely proud. Any artist that comes in here, we want you to be absolutely 100% proud of the product that you're getting. I mean, after all, it's their name on it.
Definitely.
And all of us are extremely acutely aware of the excellence that we want to be producing out of our studio. So yeah, I think that's a really important thing. The donor sponsorship program was a really important thing to me when starting the studio, because I feel like there's so much talent out there, and sometimes the means just don't follow right away. It's
Right.
such a hard business to get going on. And even trying to book gigs without your, I forget what they call it, EPK or your electronic promotion kit or something like that. All of the big restaurants and bars around here, they want to see that you've got some, success under your belt. And just like Nate being in his home studio for 10 years, how many musicians are in their, bedroom banging away every day and have written songs? And I mean, I hate to bring up American Idol, but how many, people on there that they go on there and they're ridiculously talented, but they have no means of doing anything with it.
Right.
So the donor program is extremely important to us. And please, if you know anybody, if you want to become a part of that, definitely hit us up. You can email us at info@the-co-lab.com. You can call us at 727-914-9888.
Hey, call us.
Yeah, because we'd love to hook you up. If you're an aspiring musician, please reach out. We want to help you. We want to help not just, get you in here, grab your money, and send you on your way. We really want to be involved with each artist and promoting and distributing and getting you that push that you need. If you're looking for a studio that, you go get hammered and smoke 10 blunts and then come into the studio, this is not your spot.
Right.
We are in it to have fun, absolutely, and there's a time and place for that. I certainly love my beer.
Come to our 420 party.
Yeah,
420 at House of
420
Beer.
House of
Now that
Beer.
we're talking about beer.
right.
We'll be promoting music all day for sure.
But I just wanted to make sure that message is abundantly clear. We are here to make music and to make really good music, and in whatever form that speaks to you and that you are creating. That's us. Let us help you.
I love that you just said that, honestly, because I could be real honest. I have been in studios previously throughout my career and said, I am not feeling this vibe right now.
Yeah.
And those are the most expensive studios I've been
Yeah.
in. And those, I mean, no names to be thrown out, but I would love to just be with someone I'm comfortable with in a studio. That is priceless to me. As far as me going to another person for my audio needs or anything such as that, or just even hanging out. If I'm paying for something, I want to be comfortable and know that that person has my best interest. So I can say us three have the best interest for ourselves as far as what we want to provide as people, and then we just happen to have a sweet spot to do it at.
Yeah,
So,
and I think you hit on a really good point as a producer is you want the best interest. You're
For
not
sure.
looking out for your interest. You have this uncanny way of listening to the artists and what the artists are looking for. And I mean, they could say, like, I want it to sound like Purple Sponge Cake. And you'd be like, yeah, I got you. And then you come up with some sound and there it is. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't know what Purple Sponge Cake sounded like, but now I do. That's it.
Is that a real thing?
No. I just made it up.
I will
Well,
be
that's
making
what you
a
do.
Purple Sponge Cake
That's the
song coming up here soon.
That's the next song title.
Just to show you guys what we can do as far as that goes. But
Yeah, but I've been in the studio, not a lot, but enough. And I've been in the studio with producers who have their own agenda and their own likes and dislikes and totally not caring about what the artist wants.
well,
And it's unbelievable.
we've had the tens of people here, whatever, whoever's been here. Thank you. We love
Stealing
you.
my lines.
Love you.
I've never thought about anyone who's come in here as a client. I think about music as the client.
Yeah,
And then I think about
man.
these people
Nate.
as cool friends that come in and we just get to meet. Because I bartended for a long time, and that was a thing where you get to go into your day job and kind of do a weird service for people where you're hooking them up and hurting them at the same time, and you got to be personal and care about individuals as far as like that guy doesn't need another one or that guy does need another one.
Yeah.
You got to be like,
Chill
you got to
out.
tell
That's
these
the best way to
people
put it.
how, and engineering really does go the same way, or even the music industry, because you got to feel these people out. Everyone, if you're doing music, you have the mindset of, I am going to put everything into that, and that's it. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. That's how I feel with music. So your heart's got to be there, and then if two people see that in each other, that's where they're going to connect. Otherwise, I can't get down with somebody who tells me that they're loving it but doesn't show me. Because
Right.
my 10 years of being in the room with Tyler coming over, jumping on the trampoline, going, damn, you're still working on that song? I'm like, I got to make it right, man. Like,
Yeah.
that's what makes, someone care about stuff. And I can say I appreciate just you two being serious about this, because we are here for a reason and we're going to keep rolling. And everyone else who wants to jump on board, let's go.
Absolutely.
Hit up the collab.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to go back to kind of like our purpose too. We are a full-blown music studio, but we also do podcasting, and I think this is like a newfound glory for us, for all of us, because we've never done this before, and I feel like we're good at it, and
Yeah.
we enjoy it, and that's another part of kind of the thing that we want to grow here too, is we like to support our community, and we want to see our friends and other acquaintances or
And help them,
people
yeah.
around us that we want to uplift people, and we want to give them the light that they deserve as well,
and the platform and getting their message out.
yeah, it's
yeah.
really important,
Yeah.
for all of our stories to be heard.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. And we all have a story to tell.
Yeah.
Whether you want to share that is up to you. But man, just in the short amount of time we've been doing this, and some stuff comes out after we shut the mics off. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes the best stuff comes out either before we start or, you know, after we shut down. So I'm kind of tempted to just
Yeah.
hit record when they
Yeah.
walk in and see, and then, okay, cut, but not really cut
I
because,
know.
you know,
I remember with Vic, it was like we could have left the mic on for another 15 minutes. It
Yeah.
would have been perfect.
yeah, he was so entertaining. I was
Yeah.
happy to have him, retired New York police officer.
Yeah, go check out Vic's podcast
Yeah.
on Spotify,
Yeah.
YouTube,
Go call Vic.
SoundCloud.
What
Vic would
what
love to
number was
talk to
he?
you.
Was he 5, 4, or
I
5?
think he was 6.
Okay. Anyways, we don't have that many. It won't be that hard to find. Vic Ferrari.
Yeah, and you can find his books too on Amazon.
for sure.
But yeah,
It's ridiculously funny and entertaining.
all of our guests have been amazing.
Yes.
Not to single out Vic.
No,
but
I know,
We
I
have
know.
really enjoyed everybody, and
Yeah.
everybody has brought a really good message to the table.
So yeah, we're definitely looking for more stories, more, you know, local businesses, entrepreneurs. If you have a message to share, please reach out to us. If you want to do your own podcast, this is what we're here for as well. You don't necessarily need us, you know, here interviewing you. If you feel like you want to do your own, we've got all the equipment and it's really, really good. So don't worry about buying all that crap. We got it here.
And we know how to distribute to all of the main platforms.
Right.
So, you know,
iTunes, Spotify.
within a
SoundCloud,
very
yeah.
short time, we can get everything up, and you know, we can help with branding, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah, the creative director can draw you a logo.
I could draw you logos. I can make you NFTs. I get you a Facebook page going. Whatever you want. That's for sure.
Well, I feel like we've covered kind of everything, I think.
This was
I mean,
completely unscripted, by the
Right.
way.
Yeah.
So some of these things maybe we didn't want to share, but some things
it's out there now.
Yeah, like I know the sponsorship program, that was like I literally just put that on the website
Yeah.
the other day,
Yeah,
and yeah, that was good though.
that was great. I'm
yeah.
glad you said that. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
It's definitely something that we want to promote here,
Yeah.
So
Nate, what'd we miss, buddy?
I want to get on the mic more often. This is fun.
All
yeah.
right.
I'm gonna get out of my Wizard of Ozville over here and
Yeah.
start speaking to the people.
You don't
'cause-
hate podcasts? You
Nah, I just hate TikTok. But
Speaking of TikTok,
it is important. So,
yes.
but
it
so are all
is.
you listeners out there. So I appreciate you guys just booping in and listening because this is
Yes.
cool.
Thank you, everybody.
Let us know what
we, really
we can do. I
appreciate
mean,
it.
we love criticism, good criticism, you know, bad
Yeah,
criticism,
sure.
anything.
Yeah.
Just let us know
Anything.
how it
Yeah.
sounds
It's
and
always constructive.
what's good with this stuff because
Yeah.
we want to be better every day. And
And for our friends in
Promote.
Warm Market, we are definitely ready to rock and roll. So if you've got anybody, please send them our way. I assure you, your referral will be taken care of in the best way possible.
Absolutely.
We can't wait to get rocking and rolling, and excited to find, you know, and help people.
Yeah, and two, you know, I also think me and Nate and Christina, I think we could do a mobile podcast.
Yeah.
If it ever came down to it, we could do something like that. So if
100%.
that's something that you're interested in as well, you
Sure,
know,
yeah, we can come to you.
we come to you.
Yeah.
We come to your business.
Good call.
we make beef jerky too.
And
Yeah.
we got beef jerky at 420.
Yeah.
On the 420
right,
party.
Right. All right, y'all. Thank you so much.
All
I
right.
feel like this was really awesome. I'm glad we got our message out there, and I'm really proud of us, and I can't wait to see what the next steps are. So thank
Yeah.
y'all for listening.
Yes.
Peace out.
Peace out.